Hello everybody and welcome to Feel Better Eating. This is a whole food plant-based experience. My name is Joshua Stanier and I'm joined by my wonderful, magical wife and co-host Catherine. And today, as always, we have an absolute banger of a recipe which we're very excited to share with you. We have a live crowd here at the Graceland Center in Michigan City and the millions watching on YouTube. We appreciate you all being here. So let's get into it. Catherine, what's on the menu today?
So today we have a savory chickpea wrap, a sweet chewy fruit bar, and salty almonds on the side for a basis loaded snack pack that you could take on the go. We're excited to make this because it is back to school season. This month everyone, well, most people, not most people, a high majority of people are going back to school, and that means the kids, the teachers, they're going to be looking for something to eat, and you could buy the to-go lunches or you could take a lunch with you. And we believe that when you bring your lunch, you save money and you feel a lot better eating. So this lunch is a plant-based alternative that you can use to take with you on the go and save you money and fill you up with nutrients.
And we've designed it so it takes like 30 minutes on a Sunday or whichever day before you go back to work or school. It takes about 30 minutes of preparation and then every day about 5 minutes to just put it all together. So it's not that much time to invest, and then you have lunch for the whole week and it's planned. And I've done this a lot in the past when I've been working various different jobs, and it saves me money because if I don't do this and I'm out at work, hungry, need to eat, kind of just buy whatever's there, whatever's around, and often that can be pretty expensive and you don't know what's in it. So if you just take the time to do this once as a preparation day, you'll be thanking yourself later on in the week when it's real tasty. So Catherine, let's dive into it. What are we going to make first?
So first we're going to make the fruit chewy bar. So these fruit bars are going to be made with dried fruit and nuts. First we're going to add medjool dates. Dates are good for natural sugars and for muscle building, surprisingly enough. So we'll get a cup of those in there. I guess that's just all of them. We'll just put all of them in there.
Yeah, these are also the oldest cultivated fruit in the world, are the medjool date. They've got evidence of these being cultivated 3,000 years ago, which I think is pretty cool. And if they were eating them back then, still eating them now, they're probably good for you. Next up, we've got apricots, or as you American crowds would call them, apricots, I believe.
Are you pulling one on me again? Because we say apricot.
Yeah, you say apricots, I'd say apricots. Just explaining, translating, you know how it is. So we're going to get a cup of these in. Catherine, why are we adding apricots?
Apricots? You're in my head now. Apricots are high in vitamin C because of the orange color, looks like the sun, so you can think vitamin C. That will help your immune system, and apricots also have high fiber content, which we love. We love having fiber because it promotes digestion, healthy digestion.
Got cashew nuts. These can also be any different type of nut that you desire. We use cashews mainly because of the flavor. If you've never eaten them before, they're very creamy. They have a very nutty taste. I know that sounds obvious because they are nuts, but not all nuts do. And they've got a good amount of protein in and fat as well, so this is going to help with the satiation. So I'm going to add a cup of these.
On the different levels of affordable nuts, we do believe cashews are an affordable option, and so we use them in a lot of our recipes.
Next up, we've got the classic chia seeds.
Chia seeds.
In a lot of our recipes, aren't they, Catherine? Why do we add chia seeds?
We like to eat chia seeds every day, and we suggest eating them every day because of the essential fatty acids that they provide. Essential fatty acids are integral for many bodily functions, including brain health. So we're gonna get those in there. You can add these to a smoothie, but if you have them in this bar, it's a great way to ease the chia seeds into your diet seamlessly.
Yeah, you're not even going to taste them in that. You're going to get all the benefits, and the body can't make essential fatty acids. That's why you have to get them through your diet. And when you're eating plant-based, that can be somewhat difficult, and eating regular diets, it's also difficult to get them in. Chia seeds are a great way to do it. Next part up, we have some dark chocolate. Love that, don't we?
Cocoa gives you those happy feelings, and this dark chocolate we love specifically because it doesn't have milk in it, which we could have a plant-based milk chocolate chip, but we just prefer to have dark chocolate as it is, straight from nature, well, as straight as nature as possible without extra sugar and milk. And like I said, chocolate has a little bit of caffeine in it and it has feel-good feelings every time you eat it. So we're gonna get that in the bar We love a bit of chocolate when you're eating a chewy bar from the store, so you gotta put them in the ones that you make at home.
Yep. And the last ingredient is, this is just a taste. This is cinnamon. Is it 1 or 2?
Just one.
Just 1.
We add cinnamon for flavor. You don't have to add cinnamon. It just blends it all together really well.
Talking of blending, I'm going to take a short blending break. You can do this without a blender. You can do it in a food processor, and if you have neither of those things, you can just chop all of these ingredients up. You've just got to mix them, kind of smash them all together, and it's going to make it into a bar, which we'll show you, but we'll just put this on the blender.
After you run it through your food processor, chop it up real fine, because it's got the dried fruit in it, you break apart the dried fruit and it becomes this ooey gooey mess that you can scoop out, and you'll put it in a square baking sheet or any sort of container that you have lined with wax paper, and you can use another piece of wax paper to push it down, and then it turns into this. Whoa, see, it almost fell out already. That is what essentially is a bulk option. You know, you could sit there and eat that whole thing if you really wanted to, but we're gonna cut it out into slices, into bars.
And the only step you have to take is, when you have blended this and pressed it down into the glass jar or container, you just need to refrigerate it for realistically an hour in the fridge. This has been in the freezer for about 30 minutes, and all that's gonna do is cause it to be easier to slice up. And then you only have to do this once. Cut this into portions, you can have it all week, and it'll keep really easily and for a good amount. Well, we can do,
yeah. You could decide your portions here, but you see how I'm cutting into it, and then
yeah, just cut that off at the angle. Beautiful.
Look at that! Awesome. See, it's like a little fruity, chewy, nutty bar that you can really enjoy in the morning or in the afternoon. You're gonna want it after your savory chickpea wrap, so that's what we're gonna get into now.
So we're gonna get into the chickpea wrap, and I really like wraps. They've always been a fan favorite of mine. I don't know, there's something about holding the food that you're about to eat. It's just very pleasurable for me, being able to see it all. I'm a sucker for it. And in this recipe, because we don't eat gluten, the wraps that we choose are cassava flour. And these this is the most expensive aspect of this meal prep. Unfortunately, if you want the wrap experience and you don't eat gluten, so you don't eat wheat, which are the cheaper wraps, this is just what it is. You know, it is a little bit more expensive, but for me, if I eat gluten or wheat, I get very adverse stomach effects. So if I'm at work and I'm eating that, I might save money, and then I've got 2 hours of stomach troubles, which I'm not really looking for. So we opt to choose cassava flour here. You can use any other ones. You can use wheat if you so wish. Just whatever really works for you. And with the preparation time on the Sunday or the day before, what I would recommend doing to make this work as efficiently as possible in the week is preparing all of the fruit and vegetables that you're going to put on the wraps throughout the week. And if you cut all of these up, again, it's not going to take you very long, and you keep them in separate containers in the fridge. If you mix them, they don't keep as well. They kind of like fuse together and they can go off. But if you cut them all up and keep them in their own containers, like we'll show you back here, in the morning, and what we're going to show you in this show is that once it's all prepared, it will only take realistically 2 minutes every morning to take what you've cut up and put it onto your wrap, and then the bar is already made, the nuts are already prepared. So that's how this is designed, to just give you that 1 hour day before, chop, get it on the wrap. So I'm going to chop some of this up, correct? And you're going to talk to us about each of these ingredients.
Yep.
We'll start off with tomatoes. Pick these from the garden outside here at the Graceland Sun, which is dope. The more fresh and local you can get, the better it always is for you. So I'm just going to chop these up. Do you want to talk about tomatoes, cucumbers, onion?
Yeah, so tomato has its own health benefits. It's good for your heart health. And when you think about any sandwich that you get from the store or when you go out to eat, what does it always have on it? Tomato, lettuce, onion. So we're just taking whatever ingredients you usually get out in public and putting them in the wrap. You feel like you're eating a full meal wrap when you bite into the wrap.
Yeah.
So we've got, you can use any type of tomato that you want to for this. These are heirloom, it looks like, that are bigger. You can also use grape or cherry tomatoes.
I mean, that's cool looking, that.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It's as fresh as it gets.
And then we're gonna add cucumber for a bit of crunch. And then we're going to do red onion for flavor and crunch as well. We love crunch with our food.
Yeah.
It adds a great contrast. We want to include the greens into the meal so that you're getting those amino profiles for building muscles and supporting your bodily functions. Anytime that we can incorporate greens is good.
Oh, very good. You can mix this up, and what I do is that throughout the week you can choose any vegetables you want. I like the variety, so when I cut these up in preparation, I'll leave some long, some chunks, some in squares, so that when I prepare it every morning, even though it's the same ingredients, it does feel different.
Yeah.
And it makes me more excited to eat it, so I'll never leave it whole though. That's a little bit out of line.
Yeah, like Joshua said, you can use any vegetables that you like in this. So if you want to put bell pepper in for a different flavor, put bell pepper in. Or if you don't want to use spring mix and you want to use romaine, that works too. Just personalize it for you and your flavor preferences.
And whatever you've got fresh, local, if you can find discounted veg at the end of its life cycle as well, that you can get cheaper, you can just keep it in your fridge, mix these up and try a different flavor every day. So if your preparation goes well, this is what your fridge will essentially look like. These are just canned chickpeas. You can obviously make these yourself in a pressure cooker. You don't have to drain them ahead of time. I do, just because taking them out of the can, draining it, preparing it in the morning before I go out, I want to reduce the time to as pretty much minimal as possible. So you're going to have these in one container, salad green in one, and then all of these prepared.
We have a store-bought dressing today, a plant-based store-bought dressing, but you can feel free to make any sort of dressing that you want to at home. Buying from the store is easier. And so we want to say that there are store options that don't have preservatives in it, a high amount of preservatives. There's natural dressings out there that you can invest in if you don't feel like you have the time to make your own dressing on a Sunday.
Yeah, and it makes it a little bit more consistent as well. If you buy from the store, it's just one less step. Not necessarily, but good sauces are out there, so keep the faith for the good sauce. You've got your fruit and nut bar made as well, so this is how your morning will look. And now we're going to see how long it takes to prepare a wrap, aren't we? We on the clock.
Ready?
So this is in the morning, you've got work. So this is super easy. We've already warmed this pan, I hope. It's not warm. It should have been warm. Plot twist.
But that's part of the time, is warming the pan.
Yeah.
These pre-made wraps are really easy. They only take about 10 to 15 seconds on the burner.
All the warming up is to bring back the pliability. That's the wrap warmed up. They'll sometimes break like this. That's because they're not wheat and they don't hold together as well.
So we've got the wrap base. Add some of the greens. Add some chickpeas.
You can mix up these flavors, whatever you like. I like extra onion, I like extra everything really, I guess, but nice. Get some cucumber on that. Drizzle that on. Watch thick that. Nice.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And there you go.
It's very fresh looking, this.
That was 2 minutes 41 seconds.
You guys see it? The last step would be to add a side of nuts. So we have on the recipe that you can use salted almonds, because when you're craving that salty crunch, salty almonds are really great. But if you get cashews or pecans or walnuts or macadamia nuts, pistachios, any of these nuts will provide you healthy fats and calories, and it will keep you away from maybe buying a bag of chips. So that's what we're trying to encourage here. And the dry roasted nuts are the best that you can get because they don't have extra oil. They're not cooked in oil. And we've talked about before how cooking things in oil can damage the oils and cause more harm to your body than good. And you don't even have to eat these with everything else. This is why it's called a snack pack. So if this wrap fills you up and the bar fills you up, you can eat the nuts as you go. Maybe eat them before lunch or after lunch. It's just something to have so that you have a snack ready and available to bring with you.
So, do you want to hold that up? That is, you'd obviously wrap this up, put it into a to-go container, and then there's your lunch. This is about 600 to 650 calories, depending on where you're at in terms of volume and portion control. And it comes out to, depending on where you buy these ingredients from, they're all available at most retail stores, very easily accessible. If you buy in bulk, you can get it cheaper, but it comes out to an average of about $7.50 a day. This is an investment in your own health and your own future, and I highly recommend at least trying it and experimenting with it, because when you get to the end of the week and you feel really good about yourself and you've saved money, just builds that good feedback loop, which is what we're all about. So we've also just released our 3-day raw challenge. If you want to check that out, there'll be some information below this video, or you guys live can talk to us. Just to take this to the next level, experiment with your own diet to see how eating raw could benefit your health, give you more energy, more mental focus, lots of health benefits. If you want to check that out, please feel free to do so. We appreciate you all being here and watching. We've got a hungry crowd, we're going to get them fed. Let's continue to feel better eating. Thank you very much for joining us. Much love. Peace. A big thank you to all of our show sponsors and supporters who make this show possible. The Healthcare Foundation of LaPorte, Grace Learning Center, Citizens Concern for the Homeless, and ALCO, Access LaPorte County. We appreciate all of your support.